The HTML5 specification adds several new attributes that can be added to form elements. Many of them are designed to eliminate the need for JavaScript validation when forms are submitted, because the browser will validate the user input automatically. They fall into two main categories: Boolean attributes and those that take a value. Boolean means a value that's either true or false. It comes from the name of the 19th century English mathematician George Boole, who's regarded as having laid the foundations of modern computer science. There are three Boolean attributes in the new form elements. Autofocus, that puts the focus automatically in one particular field. You should only use it in one field in a form, otherwise you cause chaos. The required attribute, that's quite obviously something that is required. The form won't be submitted if the user fails to enter anything into that particular field. Strictly speaking, the multiple element isn't new. It's available in HTML4 for multiple select lists, but now in HTML5 it can be used in any input element, such as file input or email fields, and that will enable you to upload multiple files or insert multiple email addresses in an email field. Attributes that take a value include autocomplete. The default value for autocomplete is on, so you only need to use it if you want to turn autocompletion off in a particular form or in a particular form field. You can either put it in the opening form tag, and then it applies to the whole form, or you can put it in individual fields. Min, max and step go in number fields for the minimum amount acceptable, the maximum amount acceptable, and the size of increment between each value. Placeholder adds a text hint inside an input field. The hint disappears as soon as the user clicks inside the field or tabs into it. And pattern, which is related with placeholder, takes as its value a text pattern in the form of a regular expression. In HTML5 compliant browsers, the pattern prevents the form from being submitted if the user input is in the wrong format. And finally we have list. The list attribute associates a data list element with a text input field, and it creates something which is similar to an editable select menu. Right, let's add some of those form attributes in Dreamweaver CS5.5. I'm going to make phone required, so I'll select it here and then go into code view, and if I insert a space, it then brings up the code hints. Type REQ. There we are, required, and press enter. For the email, I'm also going to make that required, but instead I'm going to use the tag inspector, and it's down here at the bottom in the uncategorized section. I just click in the field alongside required and then open the little menu and select yes. You can see that it's inserted required in the underlying HTML. Now for rating, this is a range type, so I'm going to add minimum and maximum values. I'll set the minimum value at 0, the maximum value at 25, and the step, which will be the increment between each value, at 5. So it should go from 5, 10, 15, and so on. The range type doesn't automatically display the value which is selected. So alongside the range input type, I've added a new output element and associated the two together by using the for attribute and using the ID of the input tag. And down at the bottom of the page, I've added a jQuery document ready handler with some script to display the range value in the output element. So let's save the page and see what it looks like in Google Chrome. Now I made the phone a required field, so if I try to submit the form without entering anything into the phone field, it'll tell me off and ask me to please fill out the field. So if I put a phone number in there, and submit, it now tells me off about not putting anything in the email field. For the rating, if I move the slider, you'll see that it now moves in increments of 5 up to a maximum of 25 and down to 0. That's the output element displaying it, but it does require JavaScript for this to work. When all these attributes are fully supported by browsers, JavaScript validation is likely to become a thing of the past. However, you'll still need to validate user input with server-side scripts to keep your site secure. Attackers can easily evade checks that are conducted in a browser.